Hey viewers! Remember when there was a game that I said that I probably wouldn't be able to ever show you because I'd have to use like a camcorder and it would probably look like shit? Well, looks like I was wrong. Welcome to Solar Striker. This is a game that I've had, well, not very long now because I had to buy a new copy. My copy went missing. I have no idea what happened to it, but it went missing. And then I bought this copy, which, you know, still pretty much the same game. Solar Striker is a fun top-down, is that how you say it? Top-down shooter, I believe. Let's see if, I hate doing this to you guys, but I have to find out. Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, I was just looking at, since I'm on Wikipedia, they started doing this thing where they ask for, donations, and I was like, what is that? Oh no, what happened? Anyway, yeah, okay, here it is. Solar Striker is a vertical scrolling shooter video game developed by Nintendo R&D 1 with, Minakushi Engineering for the Nintendo Gameboy. It was first published in Japan on January 26, 1990, then released later in North America in February, and finally in Europe on September 28th. So, anyway, this game only has single-player mode. The player controls the advanced space fighter codenamed Solar Striker. There are 6 levels of play against enemies known as the forces of Reticulon. I think Colon? Hell if I know. These enemies appear from the top of the screen. Special ships can be shot and power-ups can be obtained. 1 power-up means twice the firepower. 3 power-ups mean 3 times the firepower, and 5 equals the biggest, the most powerful weapon you can get. Anyway, there are a variety of enemies as well as sub-bosses, and they descend in patterns, and bosses have their own way to try to defeat the player. When the player completes all 6 levels for the first time, and after the credits roll, the player will be able to play hard mode by pressing select from the instead of start from the title screen. And just for fun, I'll read the plot. The year is 2159. The Earth federal government was established, linking the people with a common government against other species. As part of this new addition and to defend the human race's peace and safety, the Earth Federal Army was also created. The army went on the offensive and attacked a star known as Turin. However, the Earth Federal Army was no match for the overwhelming combat power of Turin, and Earth's fate seemed sealed. As Earth's last chance, a top-secret mobile unit developed a very advanced space fighter in Earth's last fortification. Flying with the mothership, Mother Athena, I think is how you say it, it arrived at Turin's solar system as the last chance for a violent and final attack on Turin forces. This advanced spacecraft and Earth's last hope for survival is codenamed Solar Striker. Let's see. It earned an overall score of 75% at Game Rankings. Mean Machines also described Solar Striker as adequate, but noted there was a lack of material to keep players interested, giving the game a score of 69%. All Game rated it 2.5 out of 5, and their asses for doing so, describing it as a decent shooter but nothing great, and citing its difficulty as a deterrent to enjoying it. Games Are Fun, which is another company that seems to probably be out of business because there's nothing on it, gave it a 7 out of 10, and German magazine Powerplay praised the title for its variety in terms of enemies and levels, though noted the underlying simplicity of the game as well, giving it a score of 70%. Now, all these people, you're probably thinking, from these ratings alone, why are you playing this game? This game sounds terrible. It really, really isn't. I mean, here's something fun you can do on the Game Boy player, by the way. If you hit both shoulder buttons at the same time, you can kind of play with the way the colors are in the game. This is the original. I don't really think you could play it in anything other than this, like, really. I don't know what that's supposed to do. Oh, cat, please don't get up. You're supposed to be sleeping the whole time I'm playing. Anyway, there's that. There's also this option where you can change the background. This one you have no background. And this one you have windows. Now this is actually kind of interesting. I didn't come here just to show this off, by the way, but I want to show... Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. What the hell? Hold on a second. Sorry about that, viewers. My GarageBand was acting like it wasn't even recording, so I had to stop that real quick just to make sure it was. Anyway, where were we? Oh yeah, I was giving my Oh, sorry, I just interrupted myself. But I was giving my like spiel on this, and like, if you stay on this screen long enough, I don't know if it'll do it while in this menu, but if you do stay on this screen long enough, characters will actually stick their heads out of the window depending on what game you're playing. You also have this like cork board background. You have this really nice one here. This one though, if I remember right, this one gave me nightmares at one point. Not because it actually does anything scenic wise, except for like change scenery every now and then, but because of that little house there. I had a dream one time that I was playing a Zelda game. I don't know why I keep bringing up dreams, but I had a dream I had a Zelda game, and I went into that house specifically, underneath that tree and everything. But then you go inside, and you get this message: something seems wrong about this house. And the second you turn around and try to leave, the house bursts into flames and you get a game over. And it says found trap number 1 or something like that. Anyway, there's this option. This one's kind of interesting. Here's the movie one. If you look, you have some characters and like you have some people in the background doing stuff. If I close this out, you'll see that they're kind of like watching as if you're playing, like if they're watching a movie, which is kind of funny. But if you sit still long enough, they'll start shifting in their seats and stuff like that, which I might show after I play the game a little bit. Alright, it's A to shoot, move right and left with the right and left, of course. These are the enemies. They have a set pattern. They don't shoot at you at first. Oh, my neck itches. That's going to get me killed. For the most part, if you know where they're going to come from, you can actually continuously shoot up there. If you tap the A button, you'll shoot pretty much the same speed, so just hold the A button down and that'll help out a little bit. I usually don't die here, it's just the Let's Play curse, because this game, its difficulty is true, yes. I won't lie about that. But I honestly think this game deserves better reviews than it got at its time. Like, you know, the reviews it gave it. To me, the review this game should have gotten for its gameplay, probably like, I know I'm not much better, but I would have to say at least a 3 out of 5 instead of like the, what do they give it, like a 2.5, like, maybe like a 3 or a 4 is what I would give it. Because replayability, it's really fun, except you have to start over at the beginning if you die and get a game over like I'm about to. And you get the most depressing music ever when you get a game over. But yeah, anyway. The background music for level 1 that we just heard was the beginning of Captain N, the Game Master. I don't know what that is, but it's apparently a like show or something, so it's called Trouble with Tetris. But anyway, hit start, you go to the back menu, and you start over again. Now, I'm only going to play this like a couple of times because, as I said, I'm probably making the game seem hated, and I hate that because this game deserves love, because It's a great game. I mean, if you want a simple vertical shooter that reminds me of Truckstron, then you want to play this. Though comparing it to Truckstron is kind of silly because Truckstron had more power-ups than this game does. Fuck. But the only reason why I did compare it at all to it is because the power-up system was somewhat similar, except you only have certain weapons that you can use through the entire game. Once you get all the power-ups, you get this one special one, of course. Like, you get the most powerful weapon that one-shots almost every single enemy you come in contact with. And like bosses, it takes down really quickly as well. Which, if I was doing really good, I would have the third blaster already, but I'm not doing very good in the game. These UFOs, they're the hardest ones to fight. That's what I've always called them. I don't know if they have a different name or not. They tend to move very quickly, and they also tend to shoot you with really good accuracy. There we go, there's the weapon I was talking about. What I love about your weapons is they look like crystals are getting shot off the screen. By the way, off screen I was actually looking at my, Sega Genesis, and it won't connect to this, so I won't be able to ever, like, unless I find a way to mess with its connection cord, there's no way I'll be able to actually play it for you. Here's the first boss in the game. Basically all you have to do is stay in between his bullets and shoot him with yours. He never moves, so you don't have to worry about that at all. He's a lot easier if you have the 3-shot, because then you can hit him along the edges and not have to worry about the shots too much. There, he's gone. You get that very satisfying congratulations music when you win. Now the sad thing is, as you can see, the music, there's really not much variety. Of course, again, you can't judge them for that because remember, the Game Boy, well, it didn't really have much in the way of musical capabilities, just like the Super Nintendo and NES. So you had to deal with what you got, you know? And what we had was this. Now this is the first moment where you have enemies guarding your power-up, so you gotta be careful about them. And they started doing that a lot more. They don't just give it to you for free. And you know what the guy said, like one of the guys said, what he didn't like about it is that the power-ups were mainly limited. He's right, sadly. They are pretty limited. I just got a 1-up there. Because once you get to a certain point in the game, you don't get power-ups as often. Oh, and now the game's speeding up a little bit here, which is kind of cool. It doesn't actually like affect much of anything. It just makes the background go a little bit faster, which is kind of cool. What I don't like though is that there's really no way to see that your ship's actually moving. It's just like, you know, there's like no fire behind your ship animated or anything like that. Which of course the animation for this again is another issue altogether. If you really want to know about that. These guys, as you see, once you pass by them, will shoot towards you. So you want to be careful of that. Here's the boss. This one actually will come down towards you, so you want to move up here, avoid the bubbles, and shoot him whenever you have the chance. Now, if you have the ultimate weapon that you can get in this game, you can take him down in two revolutions, or whatever you call it. So he's not that hard. But with the weapon I have, it's going to take a little bit longer. I'm playing like the way I used to when I was a kid. God. Now this has some different music and it also has some different enemies. these enemies run on these tracks and they won't go back and forth because of that. But they will shoot at you, so you gotta be careful. Now, if you're a perfectionist, this game's probably not for you because you're gonna keep trying to get in front of the enemies and shoot them all to kill every single one that you can possibly do. Sometimes you just gotta let them go. So, yeah. There we go, we got our last game over. Now, since this is already kind of short, let's see, yeah, it's almost, maybe not even 10 minutes long. I'm gonna let this sit here for a little bit just to show you if the animation works or not in the background. And I have to tell you real quick while I do that, I had a hell of a time getting this started. Ah, God, something's in my eye and it hurts really bad. Because like the game didn't even want to load. It was just like, nope, I'm not gonna do it. I know I'm in the system and I know I'm all set up, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna start. I'm like, no, you have to start. I want to show this off to my viewers. Even though I'm making it look worse than it really is. Oh, as you notice, the music just stopped. Don't worry, that's not a issue or a bug or anything. It's supposed to stop after a while. But, you know, it's kind of funny how you got all this stuff that you can do in the background with the Super Game Boy player. You can set it up like this. You can set up with that scenery thing. You can set it up with the windows. I think the character that comes to the windows is Mario, by the way, if you're wondering. Yeah, he'll stick his head through one and then he'll stick his head through the other one. And sometimes Peach will come through as well. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say that's the case. Or it might be some random character. I don't really remember exactly. But these are like little Easter eggs that they put into the game more or less with the Super Game Boy player. Which if you just set on the screen long enough, it would do an animation. But it doesn't really seem to be doing it. I think for what it really does is that guy that's bald right there, he falls asleep. The guy with his cane and hat just kind of shifts his weight every now and then. Other than that, the rest of the characters don't do anything. But how I know he's asleep because he starts having Z's come from his head or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know how long it takes usually. I don't know if it, like, if it's on like the main screen, if it'll do it or not. But I know it's like something that only happened whenever you let the screen idle. Doesn't look like it's gonna do it though. I think it was only supposed to take like a couple of minutes. Anyway, let's look at the other ones real quick. You got these cats. Now, this one's kind of like an optical illusion. If you look at it long enough, the cats will appear to be moving. That's kind of interesting. The pencil, it looks like an artist's pad, like an artistic pad or something like that, you know? Like someone about to do some art. If you click this one, oh, what is this guy's name? Who created these awesome mazes and all that? What was his name? Well, this is like the endless stairs, I think is what the artist, what the art is called. I don't know if you change on it over and over again if it switches to something else, but I know that's what that one was. I wish one of the other ones that animates. Let's see if we can get this one to animate. Probably won't be able to, but like I think what it's supposed to do is like the weather in the background will change and like smoke will come out of the chimney. Like you'll also see the light turn on and stuff like that. But since the game knows I'm recording, it probably won't do it. I hope you guys don't mind me doing this. I just kind of want to play around with this a little bit. And if you look at that, like the way they have it set up, it looks like it's a street sign. That's kind of the funny thing about it. Now, by the way, these Easter eggs, like these Easter egg animations in the background, The thing about him is, let's see, I wonder if there's anything about him in here. There we go, yeah, right here. While I'm looking up stuff about this, I'm gonna see if that goes, and I'll just talk randomly. Yeah, there it went. See how the color changes? Like that? That's the animation I was talking about. It's like changing to nighttime or something like that. If you look, keep your eye on the cabin, it'll change eventually. Let's see. Yeah, it talks about how it was able to change the on-screen colors, ability to display a graphical border around the screen, as well as the ability to display special background sprites on the screen as seen in Mario's Cross title screen. See, look, there, the light's on there. Very cool effect. But if you hit a button at any time, it'll go back to normal, I believe. Oh! Certain games, when played on this hardware, had... Oh, and also you can see the stars in the background too, which is badass. But they had special, like, sound effects and stuff if you used this, like, yeah, these games had expanded sound when used in the Super Game Boy. Allowed two-player action on certain games. Huh. Oh yeah, there's like special, oh, also you notice the cabin went to sleep too, that's another thing he does. Well, I always assume it's a guy in there. Anyway, let's switch over to, this one to see if I can show this one off. While I continue looking this up. What am I up to? Oh yeah, I'm up to 17 minutes. I should be fine. Does it talk about anything else to the, No, it doesn't really say anything else about them. But yeah, these animated backgrounds were something that I didn't even know about until one day I decided to put one on and it just left the system for a while. When I came back, I started seeing stuff. Like, for example, with these windows, you'll start seeing the stuff if it works. But I found myself like almost like surprised by it. I was like, whoa, what happened? Because you'll see people pop out of these windows if it works eventually. And it scared me because I was like, wait a second, is this supposed to happen, or is this like some kind of... And then I figured it out. It's just a special feature of the Super Game Boy player, is what this thing's called, by the way. Kind of like how the Nintendo GameCube has the Game Boy Advance adapter. You have a Super Game Boy adapter for the Super Nintendo. The NES had nothing like this, by the way, so don't be surprised about that. Basically, all it did was allow you to play your Game Boy games on the Super Nintendo. That's all it really did. But of course, it wasn't the greatest and most reliable hardware, as I mentioned. Sometimes it wouldn't work, sometimes it would have issues with like loading the game because like the game may not have been put in correctly all the way. Your file may not, like your game could actually get corrupted by this by accident. It wouldn't be the game designer's fault. It wouldn't be the fault of the system at all. Like it'd just be like maybe like a static problem would happen, you know, stuff like that. I'm gonna give this a couple more minutes. If it doesn't work, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording, since I did show off the game. I wish I could show off more, but I'm not good at the game right now. I'm having like a fuzzy time with it. So I'm sorry about that. I wish I could show you everything the game has to offer, but I can't. I know I said that I was gonna start a Let's Play, but I don't really, I did kind of lie about that because I didn't know what to start with on this. If I did want to try starting it or not. I luckily found one of my other games, so I was happy about it. Because there's another game that I'm thinking about just doing, because I won't, like, there's two games at least that I'm thinking of that don't take that long. One of which will be probably widely received because it's a popular game that a lot of people have done recently. And the other one is a game that's not so popular and hasn't been done a whole lot, but is considered by me to be really popular. So I'm gonna sit and think about this for a while, and since it's never loaded, there's nothing I can do about that. The only other thing I kind of want to show off with this though, which is kind of fun, if you put your thing on this background, no, which one is it? On this, yeah. You can actually, well, you don't want to do it with your finger. How does this work? I'm trying to remember. Whoa, a password. As you notice, it changed some colors in the game. See, if you mess with this enough, you'll screw with the things. I thought you were able to like draw on this back thing here, but I guess not. So you hit C and you'll clear all of it. You can take a picture of it too. I have no idea what that does, so I'm not gonna do that. I could have sworn you were able to like, you know, whoa, draw all over the place. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Just something you can find that you can do. And it'll return back to the last border you had. Yeah, I've already shown all of them off. So yeah, that's all I can show off for today for this game. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you enjoyed me screwing on the screen a little bit, because I know that's not that entertaining, but I kind of wanted to show this off because it's something that not a lot of people knew about, is that you could change the backgrounds and you could play with it. If you ever want to know how to do that, remember it's both shoulder buttons. You just tap them at the same time. Then you can mess with the colors of the game and play like that. Of course, you want to get out of this first. So it makes the explosions a little bit more interesting. I know that's not grammatically correct, but I don't care. And the bullets look a little bit different too. They don't look like crystals as much, and the enemies kind of look a little bit washed out. It doesn't look like space in the background either. And the bullets look more like cannonballs, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, that's basically the only thing you can do with the colors. Now, if you hit the shoulder buttons at all while you're doing this, it'll freeze your controller for the gameplay. And so you can end up getting killed by doing that, and I've had that happen to me a few times, which is kind of funny in games that I've played on this. I can honestly say I haven't actually used this thing that much, and I can't believe I'm still playing. I should really be stopping. There we go. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to show off because it's a fun little thing you can do. But for real now, I'm going to stop playing, and I'm really going to stop the episode. So I'll give my closing one more time. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you don't let my gameplay hurt the game. If you can find a copy of this, you know, and you want to give it a shot, pick it up. It only cost me about... I left it over there. I think it was on the back of it. I think it only cost me $10, I want to say, something like that. It's not too expensive, so you might want to look into it. But and I should say it like this though: if you're going to look for it online though, be prepared to shell out some money. It may actually be more expensive online. I could probably find that out somewhere, but I don't really care to. Anyway though, I hope you guys have a great day or night or whatever. Till then.